Alright guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris, Unholy Jesus. Yeah.
Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome back.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Media Hijack. This is episode 121.
Let's go.
So, since it's October, we're going to be doing a lot of paranormal stuff, weird stuff, because it's October. It's like, we got fair game. We can talk about whatever now.
Yeah, man. All that horror shit. Let's go.
Sleep paralysis, ghosts, aliens,
demons,
stuff that doesn't make sense.
No.
But it's all real.
In here. And in here. In your heart.
It's all real. All right, before we get started, if you guys want to get some Media Hijack t-shirts, I have mine on.
Hell yeah.
Chris has his on.
Boom.
You guys can grab these on our website at themediahijack.com. We have some new stuff on there. Also, check out our website for those. Also, if you guys want to join our Reddit community, which is dry now because we have a group chat and Instagram, so we just share stuff over there. But
yeah, that's it.
If you guys want to get the Reddit popping, you can join our Reddit. And then, yeah.
I still be posting videos on there.
I saw yesterday. I was like, let me check our little feed real quick, see what's going on.
Chris is
still there.
Chris is still on Reddit.
Chris is still there, yeah. But yeah, if you guys want to join that, hey, we have a place for you guys also.
Hell yeah.
Also, if you guys want to catch the replay for this live Twitch video, you can head over to our YouTube channel and you can watch the replay if you guys didn't make it. And then don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe.
Do it.
Give us that 5 stars. Leave a little comment if you're like iPhone people.
Hell yeah.
Give us that 5 stars. Leave a comment.
Especially if you're an iPhone people. There ain't no excuse.
Spotify, you can do it too. All right, let's get started. All right, so since it's October, we're going to be talking about weird stuff like elves, fairies, goblins. So there's this story that we came across that there's this guy where a long time ago, over 2 centuries ago, he was making all these, supposedly he was making like a lot of, they said it's like fake goblins, fake elves and fairies. Like he's like a taxidermy, but he's not though. Like according, like we'll get more deeper into it, but we're going to show you this collection that they found like back in 2014.
Okay.
But then we're gonna put our heads together and see if this story could be real or is it just a complete hoax.
Yeah, let's see if it holds up.
Yeah, let's see if it holds up. Like
yeah.
Usually when we go into a story, we're like, that shit's real.
Just jump right into it like, yep.
But this one, we're gonna have to use our heads together as a team, and we're gonna bite down and see what's the deal with this whole story. All right, so in 2014, strange pictures and videos, they started circulating the internet showing bodies of mythical creatures like elves, fairies, like goblins. This was back in 2014, and then somebody just posted all these pictures. So in 2016, that's when the mainstream social media, they got interested in this bizarre, event that happened where they were posting a whole bunch of like weird looking entities, and then the world was like, hey, is this like real stuff? Like it looks like something off of like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
But it looks like really detailed and, like highly crafted. It looks real, but if you look at it like right now, it looks like something like a Hollywood prop. But this was way back then, like over like 2 centuries ago.
Before even anyone could design a Hollywood prop that good.
Yeah, before Hollywood, and I guess, right? Over 200 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's a long time. It was way before, like...
Yeah, way before Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood wasn't around.
Yeah, this dude was making all this stuff that's... And I'll show you the picture, too. It's wild. So, the museum, there's a museum where it shows all this stuff. They said it has a collection of over 1,000 different pieces that they found from this basement, because there's actually like a basement that they found in London.
Okay.
The story is that the dude, what's his name? Hold on, guys, because I got ahead of myself.
Got too excited.
Let me just go back to my notes. All right, so the collection was found in a house in the middle of London that belonged to a strange man. Okay, here we go. A strange man named Thomas Merlin. Okay. He was born in 1782. He is known to be like introverted professor. He spent most of his time in his basement of a London house without having a lot of contact with a lot of people. He became famous for collecting specimens and unknown animals and humanoid species. Like it's famous back then. They're like, hey, what are you collecting there? There'll be like a little figurine that looks like an elf or fairy. So people are wondering, like, is this real or are you making this? But as a guy that's introverted and they say he lived in the basement for over like 40 years, how would he acquire like all these different type of like materials and stuff to make all these weird looking creatures?
Like if he never left the house, or
yeah.
Shit, unless they was in the house, or was he finding them in the house, these creatures, or just
yeah, like where is he getting these little tiny bones and stuff, and how he was making it?
Especially if he ain't leaving the house, I don't know.
Yeah, you can't get that creative. You still need like the material.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, you definitely gonna stick to the material for sure.
Yeah, so like he's not a part of the scientific community, but he was still respected as like one of the highly regarded names, like in science, like at that time. So like eventually, like he got the confidence and stuff, and then he started showing off his collection to the public. So after he showed it to the public, like the public was so shocked by it, like they started accusing him of practicing dark magic.
Of course.
And it's even the science community, they didn't like him no more. Like, you're not our people. Like, what the hell is all this wild stuff? Like, so whatever you're showing us is like complete fantasy, complete made up. It looks crazy, and you want us to think that this shit's real.
It's like, these are from the books we read. Where do you get this shit from?
Wild stuff. Because like the collection, his collection's crazy. It's not only like little entities and stuff. Like he has like paintings and stuff and drawings of stuff that he saw like on the other side. He even has like devices and stuff that he wrote down all these like descriptions to like these, like a sound device that could make you live longer or some weird shit like that.
The other side, you mean like he went somewhere, he crossed over to somewhere else and got them?
Yeah, because in his notes, he also has notes on like quantum mechanics. This is over 200 years ago.
God damn.
Quantum mechanics. He has notes on time travel. The notes on like other dimensions.
Okay.
Which is not even common. Even 30 years ago, like we don't talk like that.
No, man. Right now as a society, we are just now hitting the point of the multiverse. Like people are like, okay, the multiverse is a thing.
But this dude was on it.
Just like, out there. Back then, that was nothing.
1780, whatever. Yeah. He was on that shit. And they're like, what? Like, anybody at that time couldn't even grasp the concept of, like, not even a tiny percent that could grasp the concept of what he was even talking about.
And you say he was a witch, right?
Huh?
They say he was a witch, right? Or something?
They say he
like a warlock.
Like he practiced like black magic type stuff.
Yeah, that's usually how the mind was working back then.
Yeah.
You do anything outside of pocket, it's like, oh, you a witch.
Yeah, because imagine like he's just a normal dude, but then he just had access to the other dimensions. So he's just writing notes on, like, it wasn't no theory or nothing. He's just writing what he was going through. But he was actually like describing like quantum mechanics or whatever the hell he was describing.
Yeah.
But he was actually going through different dimensions, right?
Damn, how can you explain that to those people back then? Shit,
you can't.
It's too much for the tiny brain.
That's like us trying to teach a monkey how to code.
Call, man, he's gonna rip your face off.
Monkey like, what? Just give me the phone.
He'd be like,
I don't need to know what input I need to type in here so I can get this output. No,
the brains don't care.
So like until 1942. All right, so like later, like, after like everybody, they bashed him. They're like, hey, we don't like you no more. Like he hid in his basement until he died.
Oh man,
he died sad, lonely. That's the story. That's the story goes.
With his animals.
Yeah, with his made up creatures and his made up fairies and stuff.
His fairy friends.
So like they said like in 1942, a man who claimed to be Thomas, he looked like Thomas also. But he looked like he's 45 years old. But if you add up the times, right, if that was really Thomas, he's supposed to be like 160 years old.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So a man they claim to be him, right? They claim his name. So they took like the house, like they took like the house like out of London, and then the guy said, "All right, I'm gonna take this house, and then I'm gonna have it as an orphanage, for the orphanage, like sell to the orphanage and stuff." But he said under one condition, that nobody can touch the basement. It has to be sealed forever. So they're like, cool. So they sealed the basement, and then like later in the 1960s, the orphanage shut down. This is long, like the dude's his dead like 10 times already.
Yeah.
So orphanage shut down, and then fast forward to 2006. I found the building inspectors, they were inspecting the foundation of it before they destroyed the building.
Yeah.
But then there's like these 2 brick walls that they end up destroying, and then they found behind the brick wall they found all these the doorway to like the basement to all these crates, right? Thousands of crates filled with like specimens and stuff. Like, can you imagine 2006? And then you see all these little specimens of these little creatures like elves and fairies, goblins, like something you see like in Hollywood.
I would get the hell up out that house. I wouldn't stay for another man.
Yeah, because it's all like so ancient. Let me just show you some pictures so like the people can get an idea of what we're talking about. So here's one picture right here.
Oh my god.
So like the dude Alex, where you're seeing like the website Alex, right? After they found all these specimens, they hired a guy named Alex to be the one that collects everything and then show it to the public.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
How tall? Those are like little people.
Yeah,
like little tiny people.
Little
like pygmies.
Look at all the detail. Look at this one with the wings.
Little,
and they're saying like, according to all this, they're saying it's like a hoax, but like you can look for yourself, and then we're gonna get like just a little bit deeper into the story to why we think like maybe this could be like true.
Maybe you got these things from somewhere else. Look at this.
Yeah, because this guy, they said, because the story, it didn't make sense how they said like he was stuck in his basement for 40 years, but then like they wrote a new biography about him saying he traveled the world to collect these species. But
here's my thing. Here's my thing with that last picture.
This one?
Yeah, that one right there. My thing with that picture is like, man, if you were gonna make this stuff, wouldn't you make it look more pristine? That looks like beat up and ragged and
like fucking like, ancient. Like you have to cross a portal, but then some of it gets destroyed. This is like a dragon, because they said he came across like dragons, goblins, elves, fairies.
Big ass head.
There's another dragon. Look at the little baby dragon.
Little Yoshi. What the hell?
Look at that shit. And this was like over 200 years ago. Like, can you imagine like the skill you have to have back then, along with the whatever tools that they had back then?
Yeah.
Comparing to the tools now.
Even for today's standards, that would be incredible.
That's super incredible
if it was made.
And then look at this one. Look at this. The skin on this dragon-looking dinosaur. You know what's the crazy thing about this? They have some of the skin that they tested like in a lab, right? Mm-hmm. The crazy thing is they said that the cells on these skins were like 2,000 years old. So how could you even explain that? With these people that they say like this is like a fake hoax, like the guy, whoever, the dude Alex produced this like all himself. I think they said that he'd take all the credit and shit.
So a man who never left the house came across a 2,000-year-old creature.
Yeah,
or like at least one of them that they checked out.
Yeah.
Oh, that looked crazy as hell.
And then he was able to get like, and then he has like drawings and stuff.
Yeah.
And he has all detailed information about like the creature. Look at the inside of the creature and stuff.
Is it a wolf man?
It looks like a little wolf man.
A raggedy wolf. Oh my god. Yeah. That's horrifying.
And then we have like this creature. How?
Oh, he looked like an asshole.
It looks like a little borrower. And these are two different people. Like the one on the left has a hand out, and then the one on the right has like his hand like on his chest.
So same species, different race, I guess.
Yeah. So like if this guy was like making fake stuff, he was making like families of it. Right? Or the easy way, you actually catch them yourself.
You catch them in a Pokeball. You get them.
You catch them, you kill them, but then you dry them up, and then you do the taxidermy on them.
Oh, so he's like a real life like monster hunter?
Yeah, real life Pokemon guy that he travels to different dimensions, and then he captures these creatures from other dimensions, and then he bring it here and he collects them.
What if we found out that the cartoon Pokemon was based off of this dude? Some shit.
It could, because everything is so fantasy type. But then there's he has some books and stuff with these sacred looking symbols.
Is that blood?
That might be. That might be like a
creature blood.
A little like, imagine that small little creature, right? It's actually like a devil in like another reality.
Yeah.
and then he just came out of nowhere like a giant and shit. It's just, and then he just kidnaps their devil and shit.
Is that like what's that on the right? Like a pipe? Is that like a weed bowl?
Yeah, it looks like a little weed bowl.
Little demons,
something.
Little demon.
There's a lot of detail. And somebody that lives, in their basement. Like what? Like how did he? Like here's the crazy thing. Like some of these creatures, like you can tell, like they went through like rigor mortis.
Like decomposing and shit. Yeah. You can tell like around the stomach
where the arms and stuff get like stiff and shit. And then that only happens when like the chemicals like in your in the muscles like once you die it turns like it's almost like it
makes you stiff.
It's so hard to make that fake. Like you can.
Yeah, I'm not even a taxidermy expert. I don't know nothing about taxidermy, but I don't know.
It's hard to fake the rigor mortis. And this is like a rabbit with the horns. Look how big it is. It do look like a regular size rabbit.
That's like looks like what's it called? Like jackrabbits.
Yeah, with the horns and shit.
The mythological creature.
This dude, he went and fuck around and got
Mother Teresa.
He got the most evil Mother Teresa's head. Damn. Imagine opening a box and then seeing this face looking right at you with a cross on the head.
I ain't gonna lie, I can see why the town might say he was like in witchcraft now. If I came across him, like, yo, what's he into?
Like he fuck around, came back with like the most evil looking witch lady face.
What?
This is over 200 years ago. This guy, there's no way his hobby was this detailed.
I'd be like, man, look, all right, we're gonna do an investigation. How did you get this head? Did you kill somebody? What is this?
I don't even know what this is. This looks like one of those flying creatures with the face of like an octopus face.
Cthulhu?
Yeah, Cthulhu face with the wings.
What the hell?
Then we got our
another wolf man. That's definitely wolf man.
A good old werewolf face.
Look at this.
He's not just killing little people. He's killing like
people
monsters. Oh. This guy's out here.
Hot damn.
Yeah. So like with all like those images, how detailed it is, then how they're saying like the argument of the story is that if that kid, the 20-year-old something kid Alex, if he was able to produce all this stuff, like they're saying that his background has to be like he's like an engineer, designer, a taxidermist. Like, how did he learn all these skills and shit in this short amount of lifetime? Like, I mean, one person.
Even at 20 years, that would have been. And made all that shit. That's a lot.
Yeah, because they're saying like the amount of artifacts that they found. It's like so much shit. Over thousands of different artifacts that they found. They said that you're supposed to have like a team, like a Hollywood team that can be able to produce like that much in like whatever short amount of time that they said. But here's another weird thing about the whole story. Like the guy in the video, how he was talking about how they switched up the story to make it seem like the whole shit was like a hoax, like it was made up. They're saying like the dude, Thomas, they said that he was from like this town in England, right? And if you look up that town in England, that town doesn't even exist. So it's almost like a fucking fantasy story. Like the guy, like Thomas doesn't even exist no more because it's just like a fake character that they made up.
Damn.
So they made up his old biography, but it's fake though.
Government cover up.
Yeah, it's a weird cover up.
The supernatural district of the government is like, we got cover. They're not ready to know about these otherworld creatures.
Yeah, and because like it might be like so real to where even if it's true, people still don't believe it. But then they have to give the story like this is a made believe story.
Yeah.
Like another weird thing is that they put all that work into making all these little creatures look super real with the bones and the muscles and the facial expression, like in the little characters that you see.
Yeah.
Like they made it so real, right? The weird thing is that this museum is closed off. It's not even open to the public. The public can't even see it. So it's like you did all that work. You put all that work in making all these taxidermy fake creatures, but it's not even open up to the public where they can walk around and look at it.
Now, whose choice was that? Was it like the...
I mean, I don't know. That's the weird part of the story.
The British government, like, you know what? You guys tried to open a museum, but...
Yeah.
Clank, clank.
That's so weird how they did all that, but then if it's fake, but then have the museum closed, like you're not making your money back. Yeah. Knowing that how many hours did it take you to make all this stuff?
Man, that's like that reminds me of like how back in the day there was this dude that would find like what was it? He would find like carcasses and he would sew them together. And he would take them around on tour and show like the bodies of like the carcasses. Be like, yeah, this is a mythological creature. And like he had one. I think it's like in the Ripley's Believe It or Not museum too. But it's like this one creature you had was like supposed to be like a mermaid. But it was like actually like the upper half. I think everybody's seen that one. Yeah, the upper half is like a monkey and the bottom half is like a fish or something.
Yeah, they were doing stuff like that back then.
And they did find out that shit was fake though.
Yeah,
with that one, it was like, oh yeah, that was just all. But at the same time, I say this to say this though, that because it was fake, they were actually putting it out there to show people like, hey, at Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, it was out there on display. All this stuff. So it was like, okay,
it's possible that you can fake something like that.
You can. Yeah. And so if it was fake, like they claim it is with this guy, why would they not just show the public like how they do the other dude that did the monkey fish hybrid thing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because the thing is, like, the way they discovered all these crates with all these artifacts, like it was hidden. Like nobody was supposed to see this in the first place. It wasn't something they made, for a museum.
Yeah, it was behind the wall.
It was something hidden. They didn't even know it until they broke the wall down. Like, it wasn't even... They weren't supposed to get famous off this shit. Like, that's, like, the whole... If you go back, like, to that, they're like, okay, like, this shit was hidden. It seemed like it was hidden on purpose.
Yeah. Because, like, the guy with the monkey and the half fish thing, he was like, come all. Come see this half monkey and half fish thing. Like, kind of like...
Yeah, like...
Promoting it.
Yeah.
But this one's like, no, they were trying to...
This one's locked up.
Hide this shit.
Yeah.
Trying to hide this shit in the basement, so...
It was locked up all the way to 2006 when they broke the walls down. They're like, what the fuck is this?
You open up a box, you see like a damn...
Yeah, then the dude, Alex, he tried to take all the credit for that shit. Like, because they're saying, okay, the kid, he made it. The kid in his 20 made all the shit. But then you look at the details of all this stuff and like, come on. 20-year-old kid? What's crazy? Look at this dude.
A 20-year-old kid with that much stuff. Oh, he got a little beard.
Yeah, then look his little
cane. Oh shit!
It looks like a little eyeliner or whatever.
Oh man!
And then, look, he got like, if you look close, he has nails like strapped up on his body, little tiny nails. Like, go up, look.
Oh, I see him. You see
the nails on his chest?
Yeah, I see that.
It's like little tiny nails.
It's like to pin him down into the...
No, like it's like he was probably like a carpenter or something. He was probably building a little house.
Oh, he got injured on the work?
No, like he was just having his tools on him, so he has the nails.
Oh, I thought... Okay. Oh, yeah. I see. I thought it looked like he got stabbed, okay. But it's like it's strapped around him.
Yeah, there's like 2 nails like strapped on him. He might have been like a little carpenter or whatever.
Damn, that was his job. Look at this.
But yeah, like it's come on, a 20-year-old. What's crazy that they actually found like there's like a really famous like alien skeleton that they found in Peru. It looks like an alien's like a little like 6 inches, right? And everything was so detailed, just like how this was. And then they did like the DNA test and said like, hey, like the DNA, it doesn't match up with any like human DNA. But it's like they're trying to say like it's not real or whatever. But a lot of the stuff that they tested on that skeleton, it wasn't of like human nature. Like, it was weird. It's like it's weird. It wasn't. I don't think that's fake at all.
So it didn't match up to a human or any creatures either, or just
that exist like in our genome.
It's like, man, whatever this is, this ain't on this earth. Might be from another earth, but not this earth.
Yeah. Wow.
Hot damn, man.
Shell Shock says Wong was opening up a portal to give him the materials. That's how he knew about the multiverse.
Yeah, Wong.
Yeah. That's like, because he was also talking about like multi-dimensional travels. Like, the theory is, like, if you think outside the box, like, he was able to travel in between dimensions in different realities. And he was actually able to get physically, like, the creatures
over to
this almost world. Like to prove like, hey, I can prove to you guys that there's other creatures, just we can't see them in this reality. They're actually in like another reality.
Man, he probably spent so much time over there. That's what, since he never left the house, he probably hunted creatures on the side, but he probably like just traveling to place.
That's so fun, man.
Going on adventures, like, because the real world is kind of boring. It's kind of mundane. It's just very.
It's just like that.
It's very dry. So if you go to a fantasy world, See some creatures.
Yeah, you see a horse walking upright and shit with a human body.
He's like, welcome to Narnia. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
you're like, oh,
he
shit.
like bows down to you. Like, oh, half goat man. Okay, cool.
And the first thing, like, our human mind, like, this guy is like, I gotta show some proof. And then the first, like, little people that he sees, like, oh, those are guys. I can take those guys on, and I
take
can
these bastards on.
Snatch up one of the old guys that's just fixing the house.
he's like, welcome to Narnia. Oh, shit. And he just, like, grabs him.
Chokes him to death with 2 fingers. I need this.
And then some little person witnesses it, like, look, he's here. And they're like, oh, he's like, oh, shit, I gotta go.
This is for my proof. And then, like, he takes it back, like, to this world, right? And then he shows it off to, like, the public. They're like, no, son, no.
Okay,
no,
weirdo.
fam, that shit don't work out here. Yo, black magic, like, witch, you know? Like, get out of here. You fake warlord. Like, what are you doing with our chickens and shit?
You weirdo. Now I know where my chickens went.
And he was like, damn, like, you come out here, like, show them some real shit. They still don't believe you.
He's like, you know what? I'm going to go back there. I have more fun over there.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it. I'm going to just go collect as much as I can.
Oh, man. He probably went there.
Yeah, because he painted, like, a whole bunch of shit. Like, he painted, like, you know, creatures that looks like, well, did I show you? Like, he fucking probably killed Captain Hook.
What?
Yeah, I thought I had the image of Captain Hook. Oh, my God. I didn't put it.
No.
But, yeah, there was, like, an image of where he got a hook of some guy. And I
guess the hook itself? The hook?
Yeah, the hook. Like, you could see, like, the wood and everything. And then he had it, like, on a frame.
Damn.
Yeah, he killed Captain Hook.
Captain Hook in the other world, he killed him.
He drew a picture of him and everything.
Damn.
Wrote his little...
And took a trophy.
Yeah, he's, like, age 47.
I don't know. Sounds like this nerdy witchcraft dude is more badass than we think now. I don't know, man.
Yeah, he might...
He sounds like a warrior.
He might have... You know, see, the crazy thing is, right? Like, when, you know, they all shamed him, and then he hid in his basement until he died, with quotations. Like, he showed up, like, 50, 60 years later, right? Same age. He looked like the same age. He looked like the same guy. Claimed the same house, right? Let's say, like, when he traveled into the other reality, like time didn't exist over there, so he didn't age.
Yeah, this is time slowed down over there. It's like it moves.
Because he talks about time travel in his journals.
It makes sense. He went to another Earth, stayed there for too long, and then came back and it's like, hey, like, was it 60 years you said?
Yeah, he's supposed to be like 160 years old.
Yeah, so all them years in the past, and then because it might have been one of them things where he went. Because my brain is thinking right now that okay, maybe they found his body, and that's how they declared him dead. Right? That's what I was thinking at first.
But nobody cared about him.
But here's the thing, though. Yeah, that's the thing.
They never found his body.
There was no body. He was missing. And he went over there and came back.
But he was actually in another dimension fucking around.
Yeah, he
got married.
Got kids.
Little fairy kids
running around. Little fairy kids, man.
Troll ears.
He comes back like, man, I'm going to check on the old world again because, I kind of miss it. And I miss my favorite food. Let me go.
Skeptical world.
Yeah, let me go back to this world that gets on my nerves. I want like a meat pie. And so they come back to our world and it's like, many years later, he'd be 106 if he stayed. Mm-hmm. Because I kept thinking, I was like, well, hold up. He would. Did they not find his body when he died, quote unquote? But there was no body.
Yeah,
there was no body at all.
They could have just made up a story, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, nobody cared about him. So,
like, they made up this guy whole biography. Like, who knows? Maybe he wasn't introverted. Maybe he was an extroverted fucking...
The most extroverted
drug lord freak out in their fantasy world selling God knows what drugs he was selling out there to catch all these little elves and shit. Come on, imagine making friends with an elf, then killing them, and then bringing them back here for study. Or you gotta be like the devil over there.
Or maybe they attacked him first. Like he got there and the elves were like, hostile. He's like, no. And he had to fight for his life. And then
they try to shoot him with his little arrows and shit.
And he's like, just bounce off of him. Little tiny. He's like, I could take him on and start stomping on him.
And then he finds like this elf like where everybody worship, but he's still small. He's probably like 12 inches.
He's like the tall. He's like the big guy of the elves.
And then he picks him on one hand. Is this your god?
They're like, no.
Snaps his neck. Plucks his feathers off and shit. His wings.
I'm your god now.
Plucks his wings off and then put them on a little
display.
A little display.
My first kill.
Look at those wings.
He said, I'm gonna put this up as a warning to all of them.
But
Damn.
look at us like laughing, but it's actually like a real fairy.
Yeah.
Right? Damn.
Take it from your own world.
Shell Shock says you wouldn't know her. She goes to a different school.
Oh, that excuse. The OG excuse.
Yeah, I'm married. Yeah, you wouldn't know her.
She
actually don't live here. Like, here. Like, what are you talking?
You'll never see her at all. You'll never see her.
What are you talking about?
But she's real, I swear. Swear to God, she's real.
She lives in my heart and in the other world.
Oh man, it's wild too, man. It just dawned on me too. I've been reading like a lot of Thor comic books lately. I don't know what's going on with me. I've been like on a Thor binge. The shit's cool, man. But this one issue I was reading of Thor the other day, which is funny because we talking about fairies. It wasn't exactly Thor experiencing this, but it was a person who took on the title of Thor, right? And then something was happening out of space, right? There's like these astronauts on this satellite, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're on a satellite. We're doing satellite work," and they keep hearing something like beating the outside hull, like of the satellite. They're like, "What the hell? We keep hearing stuff," and then they go to the control room and they look up on the controls, like at the control room, saying, "Hey, what's hitting the ship outside?" And they look it up on the cameras and all that, and they're like, "Yo, like we have incoming projectiles, but we don't know what it is." And one of the astronauts go outside the ship to go look, and he sees like a tiny little dead body floating. He's like, "What the hell?" It was an elf.
Oh,
but next time he looks up, all these it was a fairy. It was a fairy. It's like a dead body fairy with like a missing arm. He's like, "What the hell?" And he looks out into space. He sees all these dead bodies of fairies just falling towards Earth. They're like hitting the satellite. They falling towards Earth. It's all types of wild shit.
Did they just spawn like out of nowhere?
Somebody was murdering them and dumping them on Earth.
Oh shit!
They was using Earth as like a dumping ground. Like somebody was like went to this other world to go kill fairies because they needed like a specific skull to do a ritual.
Damn.
But they was murdering the fairies, and they was like, "Hey, we want to send a message to Thor. Drop all the bodies on Earth." And they was like, just fairy bodies just raining down.
That's so crazy.
Crazy as shit. It was crazy as fuck. I was like, what is? I was like, who wrote this? What's his name? Jason Aaron. He's a hell of a writer. So good, but
reality dumping,
dude. He's just dumping all the fairy bodies on Earth.
That kind of reminds me of that one video. Remember we saw where it was in Mexico, and it was like a security cam footage of birds that's falling out from the sky out of nowhere.
Oh man, that was crazy.
You think like they just warped from a different reality at that one part?
Just like blipped in, like bloop.
Yeah, like oops, like they fucking slipped through like a time and space.
Yeah, we were flying forward, now we flying down. Like just
yeah, they're like flying and shit. The next thing you know, somebody fucked with reality, and then they're fucking flying straight down into a building, and they're like, the bird's like, hey, I wasn't ready to get fucking face smash.
That was crazy shit. My mom sent me that video too. That video of the damn birds. If you haven't seen it, look it up. Like the birds. I think it was like in England or something. It's one
Mexico.
of them. Was it Mexico?
Mexico.
Yeah, where they like all them birds just smashed to the damn ground and.
Yeah.
They try to say
your story reminds me of that, like how.
Just somebody dumping them here.
Just dumping them, like just open up a reality, like, but then just dumping the trolls.
And then how we gonna prove that that's where they came from? Nobody.
Reality, it's really thin right now.
We think we understand reality, but we don't.
Yeah, because the other night, yesterday, I was trying to sleep. Then I had sleep paralysis happening, right? Mm-hmm. And in the middle of it, I was like, "All right, I'm gonna do this astral projection. Like I'm not scared." But actually, when I almost like gave up, right? I felt like my whole body like shaking like crazy, like vibrating like crazy, right? And I could almost feel like my body lifting up. Then I got scared. That's when I was trying to shake out.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it almost happened yesterday.
Just shake free from it.
Yeah, because I was just trying to sleep yesterday. Like, I'll probably do this like in the daytime if I take a nap, but not when I'm sleeping. But it happened when I was sleeping last night, and
the real sleep.
When I was really trying to sleep, but then I felt like shaking. I was like, "Oh shit, it's my body's lifting up right now." But then I got scared.
Man,
I'll get there one day.
One day, you still going through the training program?
Yeah, it's like they're doing it to me like so much now. Like I get sleep paralysis like so much now to where I think like they're really trying to get me out there. So I just have to give in one day, and then experience
just
it.
Let it go.
Yeah, then once I experience, like, oh shit, it might end up canceling every plan.
Everything forever.
Like, I'm sorry, man, I'm busy. But I'm actually astral projecting everywhere and shit. Yeah, because I can do it so easy since I get sleep paralysis so easy.
You're like, Chris, I'm going out of town. I'm like, what? I'm
going out of town.
We're skipping next week's show. I'm like, all right.
Like, I'm out. On some water planet and shit.
Right?
Shell Shock says, kind of like Watchmen when the tornado siren goes off. Yeah, kind of like that. It's wild. One of those.
One of the greatest Hollywood movies of all time. I don't care what everybody says.
Gets you from the core, you know.
War of the Worlds, baby.
Imagine.
It's one of the best movies ever.
Stepping outside your house and hearing these sirens, but coming from deep inside the earth. That's scary.
Where can you run, people? What would you do? Your guns ain't gonna help. We can't run because this is the whole planet.
Yeah, like imagine like you're hearing sounds, but it's not coming from the sky no more, but it's coming from like center Earth.
They should do that too, where like, hey, something's about to blow Earth up, but from the inside, something's about to crawl out and just kill us all, and it makes a noise like that, and then the movie follows like some survivors and have Tom Cruise in it, and they have to go to where CERN's at to go through a portal. Like they completely have to leave reality because they can't get on ships to leave because what the fuck you gonna go in space? We don't know where anything's at.
Because a whole bunch of like doors, right? They all come down, flying and shit.
Fucking shit out.
You might call us gods, but you were just from somewhere else and we just know how to fly.
We're little G.
Yeah.
We're little G gods. Like you said, little G
we're just here to deliver a message, you know?
Yo, go to CERN, like, yo.
Like, in order for you guys to actually fix this, you guys really have to get together. Then you actually have to become the New World Order. The one government.
the one.
Because if you think about
religion,
it, right?
One government.
If you think about it, like, for all this to work, it actually has to be a one world government. How crazy how that sounds. But if you think about it, the whole world has to be on the same page.
I said this years ago. I said this before in the show.
They might be onto something.
I said this either early this year or whenever it was last year. I said this on the show. I think, look, maybe we might need to take a step back. This whole one world thing, it's like, it might be the only way we can make it. I know it sounds nuts, and I got criticized for this. I straight up. I was like, look, maybe they want us. So we do got to work. We have to work together. Now, whoever's running the show, that's the problem. That's the thing we got to concern ourselves with. Who wants the one world government and why would they want it? That's the issue.
If you take a step back, right, the world that's separated. How can we move forward if people's not agreeing on the same things?
Yeah.
Because people, they want peace, all right. But if you think about it, like overall, like if people are all on the same page, like wouldn't like the government or whatever the whole system be on the same page also?
They should
for things to work.
The government should, but they won't because problems are what keeps politicians rich. If you can't create a solution, but solutions kind of cuts off the revenue of what they maybe want.
Yes, but let's talk about it as like the whole planet as
one coming together, right? As like unity.
Because think about it like this way: you're a space traveler, right? You go visit a planet, Uranus, and you go meet the people. You would think like everybody on that planet's on the same page, right? Like they all do the same thing, whatever.
You would think.
You wouldn't land on the planet and be like, oh shit, there's like different places where you could pick this place or that place. Like, you would think like the whole planet is one entity, like they're all on the same page.
Unification type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you would hope so, but so many, from religion to so many different things, so many factors that separate people on.
Yeah, because this is what you know here. But I'm saying like you as a space traveler.
I want to go to a planet that's like, hey.
Yeah, you go to a planet.
Utopian type of.
Yeah, you go to Venus like, oh, this is the Venus planet.
Yeah.
Like when you come to Earth, like, oh, you come to Earth, like what part of Earth? What country on Earth?
Be careful where you go on Earth. We got some little
like
rough.
The hood side or what? Like, be careful where you go.
I mean, if I was a space traveler, I'd be like, yo, I hope they all unified because, and I hope they're open minded about other people coming to this planet. I can see, man. I'd be scared for UFOs that want to drop off here. I would.
They're here already.
Well, as far as like if it's some UFO from way out there in space, right? Like new traveler, like an alien who just got his driver's license type shit.
Yeah.
He like drives into the wrong town, aka Earth, and he's lost. Like, and he lands
Roswell.
Yes, and he's like, oh, okay. He's like, hey, you guys are humans. He has like a little book.
Like, hey, nice black suits.
He's like a little book that's like trying like.
Oh God! Then he gets caught.
Yes, like he stopped in the wrong town.
Yeah, I think like the strong government that has control over like the space, they can tell who's coming in and who's coming out. So this is why
Yeah.
you get the weird stories when you see like spaceship crash, right? And then immediately, like if you like the people that's already on site that saw it happen, they say like immediately you'll see like government officials already on
already
site.
there because they was monitoring it. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, holy shit.
That's
So
how Roswell was.
they
Yeah.
they really know what's going on in the sky. They're knowing what's coming in, what's landing and stuff. So
Mhm.
you would think anything that infiltrated through the sky, like somebody's already watching it like 24/7. Like, all right, we got a landing out here in Roswell, New
They
Mexico.
monitor all that shit.
We
Shit
need
that,
to get you guys out there stat before one of those people out there see it.
I mean, every now and again they'll tell us like, oh yeah, we have an asteroid that's like swinging around our solar system, whatever. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they monitor some real shit that could come through, and we might not be ready for that shit. As far as
Yeah, if there's like the evil aliens that come out where they just want to show like how powerful they are.
I think even if it's good aliens, I think they would try to cover it up too.
Yeah. No, yeah, of course.
They'd be like, no, we don't want nobody worshiping anything else other than us.
Yeah, they don't want
The
us
powers
to know
that be.
anything of, because they already know what's out
They
there.
they know, but they don't want
And
us
they
to know.
like they're working here too. Like it's so crazy
They
how
hear.
sci-fi
hear.
channel out here, man. Shell Shock says, "Don't go to Earth. It's a sundown planet."
Oh, I was thinking that in my brain when I was saying when I was
What
speaking.
does that
of
mean though?
Sundown planet was. Hold on. I didn't even see you said that. What do you say that shit at? My shit didn't even pop up yet. Sorry, my chat's messing up. So a sundown planet. Well, the term is sundown town, right? The term sundown town was it's still a town. It's still a thing today, but it's basically towns that are extremely racist, and it's usually rural towns, racist towns, and the cops are racist. And after a certain time of day, if black people are in that town or driving through that town, cops are gonna pull them over and probably kill them,
Damn.
or something's gonna happen. That's just been a huge thing before I was born, before my parents were born, before my grandparents were born. Some of these towns are like, I don't think they're as egregiously as bad as they were back then, obviously, but sundown. That's what sundown towns are. I was like, hey, look, don't stop by this town. If you black, you driving. Don't stop by this town.
Make sure you got a full tank.
Like, make sure you got a full tank. If you driving through it, go through it and get out. Don't stop for nothing. Because if you do, you might not show up anywhere else. You're gonna be missing, and they're not even gonna find you. So
That's why you take a plane.
that did cross my. but now, not today. Yes, for sure, do that. But back then, when everybody was like driving and shit,
Yeah, because like America's like so big, and there's a whole bunch of like these little pocket,
Yes.
little cities that people don't even know
a
about.
shit ton.
They have their own community, It's like probably one community that's all electric, right? But they all sleep with each other's families.
Yeah, they got their own. They already got their own system going on. They
Incest town.
It's like a little planet that they live on. They know nothing outside of it.
High tech incest.
Yeah, but she's high tech.
And it's like really advanced and shit. Everything is all like self ran, like through like their vegetation system is all automatic and shit.
They're like super high tech. They're like advanced society, but they still do incest.
Yeah, it's like a smart city.
but they still do incest.
Yeah, but they do incest
Damn.
just to keep the bloodline like clean and shit. Because they're waiting for the all one creator, like
To give them to go.
for them to come down and give them the next storyline. Because they can't think for themselves, you know.
The next task.
Humans are so silly, man. I gotta take a leak so bad.
All right.
When we get back, we're gonna just jump into another story.
Yes, sir.
All right, be right back. And we're back.
There we go.
All right.
All right. So it's my go. All right. So now we're gonna talk about this. These are like some ghosts. It's a ghost story that's kind of like related to people getting murdered after the fact. If that makes sense. I'll explain it though. All right. So All right, so this is like I was going through like a couple of stories since we're doing like Halloween this month and whatnot. And with that being said, I grabbed a couple of stories. One story I did know about. A couple other ones I never heard of before, and I thought it was really interesting. So the first story I came across today was actually called the Hammersmith Ghost. Right. All right, so this is like a ghost that exists out there, like in West London's Hammersmith district, and so this is like back in like the early 19th centuries, right? In this town of and out there in West London's Hammersmith district, there was like these rumors that was going around about like this ghost that was walking around the cemetery at night in the town, just walking around. Eyewitnesses were saying like, oh yeah, we see like this guy. He's like this creature or something. He's like hanging out in the shadows, and he's got like a glass eye, like one glass eye, and he's got like these horns, and he kind of just wanders around there at night. And there was like these accounts of people walking past saying they would hear it screaming or crying at night when they were walking past at night, right? And so, and there was like a story too, like a pregnant lady claiming that she was actually physically attacked by the creature walking past the cemetery one night.
So he's like an upright person.
Yeah, this is like some kind of like, this is like, it's almost like a humanoid type being, like
that has horns.
That's supposed to have like a glass eye, like one glass eye, and horns coming out of his head. And there was really no other big description about it. It was just that he just kind of like walks around. He's like, he wears all white, but he tries to hang out in the shadows at the cemetery at night. And eyewitnesses were saying like, yo, I've seen him. He was out there. Pregnant lady claimed she was attacked. There was one time like a wagon driver actually like abandoned his passengers because I guess like the wagon driver like little thing dragging behind it and all that. They was gonna pick up some people, and I guess he like saw somebody in the graveyard or the cemetery. And he's like, "Oh hell nah!" And like, yeah, and left people just standing outside. He's like,
"Oh shit!"
He's like, "Oh, the hell with this! I'm not sticking around."
So he was like their Uber driver and just left.
And Uber driver just like, yeah. Imagine your Uber driver pulled up in front of you, and sees you up the car door, he drives off, and you're like, "What?" And he cancels the ride.
He's like Debo outside and shit, like he's about to get robbed.
Your Uber driver cancels the drive right after he drives off from you.
It's like, fuck that, fuck this neighborhood, I'm out.
And so like I like so with this story, right? The reports in this town got so serious.
Wait, where's the place at again?
Oh, this is like in West London's Hammersmith district.
London,
yes. Pip up. Cheerios.
Werewolf Nation.
Cheerios, yes. Cheerios. Yeah, out there, and so
Werewolf Nation.
And yeah, there you go. The Wolfman. Oh yeah, so this creature that was walking around the graveyard was causing so much hysteria. The cops were like, "Yo, if he pops up again, we need to arrest him." I'm not joking. This is what the cops were thinking back. They was like, "Yo, we gotta put him in cuffs. We're gonna bring him in."
So has the cops ever seen him physically?
No, but at least some of the cops, like, as far as I know, the police, from this story, the police never saw him, but just eyewitness accounts. But it was causing such a hysteria in the town. The cops were like, "Look, we gotta do something about this because we're losing control of the people." And so they wound up sending a group out there one night to go check on this spirit. And so, like this group of cops wound up going out there at night, and they wound up coming across. Actually, they said like one of like the officers while they was out there saw like a creature in white standing out there, standing off to the like in the like at the cemetery, but like in a way it was kind of like in the shadows. And he was like, "Oh shit, who was that?" And even like as he pulled his gun out, and I don't know if he gave demands or whatever. From what the story sounds like, the cop pulled out his gun. He was like, "Oh." Just shooting at the dark.
What?
Just unloading shots at the cemetery.
That's not character. Like,
that's
cops
crazy.
don't do that, do they?
Dun dun dun.
Like they,
dun dun dun.
I cannot see nothing. Let me just pull my gun out and start shooting.
Yes.
That's not normal.
The term normal, I don't know if it would be the right word for it. Cops do shit like this. When they get scared, like, man, you gonna check who it is? In this situation, he should have, because when the cop pulled out his gun and he started shooting off in the dark, he actually wound up hitting this guy named Thomas Millwood. He was a plaster. He was wearing like this all white kind of like clothing. He was working at night at the cemetery trying to do something.
Thomas, like the dude in our last story.
Yes.
Thomas, like Merlin.
And this is Thomas Millwood.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he was a plaster wearing a white clothing that signified his trade. I guess as a plaster back then, your outfit would be white or whatever. And the cop.
So what year is this?
They said early 19th century. So
this is an old story.
It's an old story, yeah.
Oh, they're all real.
Yeah. So yeah, he went by.
If you hear a ghost story like from those times,
real accounts.
guaranteed real.
And so the cop winds up like shooting the dude, like just lights his ass up, and yeah, Thomas Millwood actually wound up dying.
So we should.
As that actually, yeah, the cop
Should've
lit his
never
ass
wore
up. No, the cop jumped the gun on that one. That was insane to me. And so it says so they wound up having like this murder trial, and the cop that actually shot him actually got the death sentence for killing Thomas Millwood in the cemetery. They was like, yo, you gonna die because you can't be popping off shit. You can't just be shooting at something and you don't know where it's at, which that should be a thing, but they don't do that with cops. But they was gonna give him the death sentence.
VR.
And so they wound up giving him the death sentence, but they wound up commuting it to like hard labor for the rest of his life. So I guess I don't know, hard labor would be back then like working in a coal mine or some shit. I don't know, but they shoved his ass somewhere. It's like, yeah, you're gonna stay there forever. But a lot of people that lived in the area said like, okay, this was kind of like ironic because so after this point, Thomas Millwood died, right? And then the whole town felt bad about this dude getting murdered because the town was starting to get upset, or the town was starting to lose its mind over a ghost that may or may not have been real. But then after Thomas Millwood died, all his wishes happened at the cemetery then.
All his what?
All this weird stuff started happening at the cemetery.
Weird stuff.
Yeah, it started happening at the cemetery now after he had died. So then the town folks are thinking like, Jesus Christ, we inadvertently created a spirit in our graveyard out of our hysteria. Like maybe there was never a spirit before, and we got everybody all riled up, and now we really do have one because of how
they made one.
Yeah, they made one. So that was the irony of this. Like, so if they didn't have one before,
Earth is so fun, man. There's like no rules really, you know.
It's like, yo, we're just like
if you believe it, it's real. If you believe it, it's your reality.
I feel like humanity is flying by like on the seat of their pants. It's like, I think we're just making this shit up as we go along, and then
it seems like it's just
with shit like this,
like buffering and shit. Like, what does your conscience want to believe today? You know?
Yeah.
And then something weird happens, it completely change your whole life. Like, oh shit, it's like this the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when you get the reality breaking moments. I had that happen to me twice.
Yeah, stop.
Where it shattered like. I'm like, fuck this whole life. You know, it was like that. I was like, fuck this shit.
Like the whole like none of this matters type.
Yeah,
of
like I'm gonna drain my whole account like that.
And just go off somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna disappear.
Oh man, that's scary, man.
Be like, hey, what happened to Billy? Man, he woke up like crazy. He woke up 10 times. He's gone.
I told you, man. I told you about the guy that stayed where my mom used to work at. How he just up and left one day. Just
yeah,
he had a good paying job. He's like, I'm done.
Figured out they were just plugged in the whole time.
The dude pulled out his memory card before turning off the system. So he's for all you kids don't know what memory card is. Some old game shit.
Pull that floppy disk.
Snatched out his memory card before he could finish saving. He was done.
Is that it for that story?
Yeah, that's a short story.
All right, I got a fun fact for you guys since we're in October.
All right.
Strangulation. Strangulation.
There you go, baby. Sound it out.
Yeah, so there's a point like when you're being strangled, right?
Mm.
When you're about to die, like if I'm strangling you, you're about to die. There's like this fine line between pain and pleasure.
Yeah,
so I'm about to kill you, right? I'm choking you. You're about to die. There's like this small period of death and you still being alive where you experience the most like pleasure, like to where it feels so good, right? To where if I let go of your throat, you would try to kill me because you would want me to keep choking you till you die because it feels that good.
Yeah, I think I heard stories about people getting like hard-ons and shit from getting like strangled and shit.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, but there's like a fine line of like pain and pleasure when where you're about to hit the death point to where you hit like this immense
pleasure
the
to climax.
To where if the dude he lets go of you, right, you'd be like, oh, you better keep trying to kill me because it feels so good.
Do it.
Yeah,
do it.
To where they would try to kill you.
Oh
yeah, is that crazy? So then that leads into like the people who do like these weird where they would try to hang themselves, right?
Oh yeah.
But then jack off at the same time, like they're about to die, and then they hit that climax of that crazy amount of like pleasure and shit.
Yes.
But then some don't make it. Like they actually go a little too far,
yes.
and then they actually kill themselves. Yeah, erotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, that's how David Carradine died from Kill Bill.
Yeah.
He was Bill. He
Dude was like, I'm gonna come so good.
So like
too good. It's like fuck it, just kill me. Yeah.
So it's like a race against time. Like, hey, I'm gonna bust his nut before I strangle. Like,
yeah, because imagine like let's say like you're on top of the world, you experience everything, money, sex, everything, love, money, everything, everything you can imagine.
Yeah.
And you get bored with life, and you're like, okay, what is the next fucking craziest thing that you can experience that you haven't experienced?
The most
yet?
Extreme.
So it will be like what Shell Shock saying, erotic asphyxiation, where you would strangle yourself to the point where you're about to die, where you hit that pleasure point, like everything is like bursting in your brain, like hey, you're about to die, but you feel like this crazy amount of like pleasure and shit, but then you save yourself.
Before you die.
Damn. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, I've heard of this shit before. I've heard of it before, but the whole David Carradine shit was the one that put it on the map for me way back when he died. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, hey.
I was like, that's how Bill's gonna just end up? Like, this how Kung Fu dies? Like, what the hell?
Like,
This dude's like a legend.
Did he use a rope or a belt? Like, what?
Damn.
Is there a tutorial? I'm just playing. Don't post it on TikTok.
We can't do this. No,
yeah,
but
like where I got this from was I was watching this Korean show about like this guy. He was like it's like a murderer. He was killing everybody and shit. And then like the cops are trying to catch him, so they're trying to bait him. Right? They use one of his own people. Like the cops use one of their own female officers to bait him. But then the dude, he actually catches her, right? And then he ends up fucking killing the bait cop right in front of the detective. And then he was like, yeah, you guys fucked up. You use like one of your female cops, but you guys couldn't figure out like the puzzle.
What? Why didn't he stop him when he was killing her, choking her? I'm assuming he choked her, right?
No, he killed her with an axe.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay.
But, like,
you should let with that. I was like, we just choked and he watched her?
Yeah, see, where I heard the story was when he was getting hung for the murder.
Yeah.
Before he got hung, he was telling the story about pain and pleasure before somebody gets, like, before they die. If you choke them, he was saying, like, there's actually, like, they feel pleasure and they would actually kill you if you would stop trying to choke them.
Yeah.
And then they hung his ass.
Is that why some females... Well, yeah, now I get it now. Why some females be like, choke me.
Yeah, and then you do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
if they were cool, I guess. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way you do it.
I don't feel comfortable choking anybody, to be honest. It's just kind of unsettling.
How you do it, Shell Shock? How do you...
Shell Shock, how do you do it?
How you guys do it out there in Texas?
How do y'all go down? Choke me. Choke me so I can get off. That's okay. I mean, I ain't kink shaming or nothing, but that's a dangerous kink shame. Oof.
Yeah, you're not actually really supposed to choke them.
No, you're supposed to just apply.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you apply pressure to they're about to pass out.
They can still breathe.
Yeah, not to the point where you're like killing them. There was a story I heard that just happened like a couple of years ago, right? There was a chick who was high on meth, who was like having sex with her boyfriend, and she was choking him during sex. And
she killed him?
She killed him.
Holy shit.
She killed his ass accidentally. So, I don't know. Meth make people do crazy shit. She killed him during sex, right? This ain't even the crazy part. After she killed him, she's like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do. So she chopped his body up.
What?
And then dumped the pieces of it. She's on meth, meth heads got shit to do. They don't have time to be messing around with bodies. She's like, fuck, I got someone I got to be later. I got to chop this up. And then start dumping his body all over the place. I never knew what happened with that story. This is like a recent story in the past couple years. Chopped the body up and then dumped it all over the place. The cops caught her. I think she got out on bail.
Was she white?
Yeah, come on. She got out on bail. So yeah, her bail was like $2.5 million. You pay 10%. I'm no math whiz, but she was out on bail after murdering her boyfriend after sex. But now the thing with the story, which I never really found out about it, was did the boyfriend ask for it? But choke me so I get off, and then she accidentally killed him, and then she tried to cover it up, or did she kill him and just anyways on purpose? Without him asking to get choked, and then chopped his body up and dump it. I don't know, but they found meth in her system. That's all. If there is anything,
What about in his system?
I don't know. Probably both of us was probably on it on them. I mean, because if you with a meth head,
I think it might have been an accident, but then she took it too far.
Yeah, because that meth brain was probably like overloading, like, oh fuck, I can't go to jail. I gotta chop him up. And then she panicked, and so now that's another case on her ass. Like, so you killed him.
Yeah, if you're gonna have sex on drugs, just use cocaine or something.
Yeah, that.
Don't put that on TikTok.
Boy, they about to shut our shit down.
But like, come on.
You gotta be careful.
Meth heads are crazy, dude.
Oh, they are off the chain, man. That's why they carry like coloring books.
Comic books.
Like coloring books or like
coloring books.
Oh, a lot of times you'll see them have.
Oh like, yeah, because they need to stay active.
Dude, they can't sit down, man. They gotta have like fucking
like get a meth head, put it in
markers.
Your house so they can clean your whole house.
Dude, yeah, and then they'll probably steal your shit. Maybe kill you. I don't know. Meth heads are unpredictable sometimes.
Yeah, I heard like one story, like one of my cousins was on meth or something, and then cleaning like the whole house.
Yeah.
Throughout the morning, they woke up like, damn, it shit smell like pine sol and shit.
Oh.
Everything is squeaky clean.
Like somebody cleaned up a mercy. Somebody cleaned up.
Which one of you guys on meth cleaned the house? Give you a little trophy.
Man, I'm working a little too hard. Shellshock says, stay away from the windpipe. Pressure the juggler. Yeah, this is trick. Kids, don't try this at home. For the love of God, don't try this at home.
Experienced people, we should know how to choke somebody without killing them.
I learned this back when I was in the I learned this back for the experts out there.
We're scaring everybody.
I learned this back in the military. Like how you choke, I heard this when I was in the military, not from the military, but while I was in the military, like how you like choke yourself out. You like do one of these, like you take your hands and you press against like each side of your neck, and you just apply pressure, and you keep pushing down, and eventually you'll make yourself pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why people was doing it. I think people was doing it while I was in the military, and it was like, "Hey, stop, guys."
Yeah, there's like this.
Stop doing this shit.
Pass out culture challenge that people were doing. Like elementary kids were doing this to each other, and they were filming it, and they would do like that technique you explained.
Oh, that's a throwback. Yeah,
they were choking each other.
Yeah.
Speaking of throwback, we're gonna run to another story right quick.
Let's go.
All right, so there's like this a Ouija board game, but it's like a different version of the Ouija board game, like the simple version. So this was like a game that was a long time ago, maybe 7-8 years ago, where they called it, I think we talked about this maybe before, they call the game Charlie Charlie.
It does sound familiar. We did talk about that. Yeah.
So there's like a game called Charlie Charlie way back then, where they banned it in like a whole bunch of schools like out in Fiji and stuff, because the kids, they were conjuring up spirits and shit. So they're like, hey, this shit, if we see you guys playing this, hey, you're gonna be expelled.
Yeah.
So like this was years ago, maybe 7 years ago, where it started popping on social media, but now it's making like a comeback
again.
It's making a comeback where kids are playing this whole Charlie Charlie game again. So like the whole idea of the Charlie Charlie game, they have two pencils, right? They want to have one pencil and then the pencil on top, and then they write on a piece of paper like yes and no, and then they would ask questions like, hey, blah blah blah, Charlie, or are you real?
We did talk about this. Oh yeah.
And then the pencil would swing to like yes or no and stuff. So like this YouTuber, he made a video about him playing the Charlie Charlie game. Then he had the pencils like lined up, and this video has like millions of views.
Yeah, just like cross over each other, right?
Yeah. Then he asked, "Hey, are you real?" And then it just went whoop straight to the yes and shit. So like the whole story with this new article, like people are playing this game again.
It's making a comeback, huh?
Yeah. Then the teachers, they're trying to like ban all this shit because they're kids.
You tap into the world,
man.
Man.
Because like they saw like some shit where some kid, if he faked it or not, like he got possessed by whatever spirit, and he started freaking out while they're playing this Charlie Charlie game. So like, hey, like, and then this was like in Fiji, I guess like in Japan or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, hey, if we catch you guys like crossing up your pencils, you going home early.
Yeah, what do you do to the kids doing that shit in the school? You just like suspend them, I guess, or what's the disciplinary action for that? Like,
I think
like kick them
execution.
Just shoot him back in the head. Just shoot a kid in the back of the head.
Nah, they probably get like sent home, and then the mom whoop that
Fucks him
ass.
up. Mom's gonna fuck him up.
Like, hey,
The dad's gonna get home and fuck him up.
your teacher said you've been playing that Charlie game,
We told you not to play that shit.
and we only play that on Wednesdays. Why you out there playing that on Monday?
Fuck him up. Fuck him up, mom. They should be paying attention.
The mom light his ass up.
And
Next thing you know, the husband,
he comes home from work. Now it's his turn to go.
and then he hangs himself.
Auto asphyxiation? No, what was that shit? Erotic asphyxiation?
Japan, they be on some shit because their workload.
It's too much, man.
It's so wild to where they're like, man, we have to fucking figure out some wild shit just to escape our reality, like for a short amount of time, right? For the little 3-4 hours they have freedom, they get to be the most wildest.
Man, and you gotta think about it like this too, how stressed out these people are working just to come home for, the kids playing Charlie at school.
Yeah.
The parents like, I'm clocking out this reality. I'm sick of this shit. This job sucks. I'm being pressured too much. My kids getting summoning spirits.
They out here playing this ghetto ass Ouija board.
Fucking Charlie, I'm out.
This ghetto Ouija board with the printer, computer paper.
Honey, where's my belt? I'm going upstairs. Don't bother me.
Spirits can't even spell words out. They only have 2 options.
Is it right?
Get this
Yes or no? I need more, man.
South Side Ouija board out of here.
Let's get him. This busted ass.
Give them this new Ouija board with the spell check and the corrections and shit. Like the new Ouija, the digital Ouija board. Oh,
they make some new ones.
They should.
Oh, okay.
They should.
I would get it.
Yeah. So that game Charlie is banned like since 2015.
Remember that?
Like the government declared it banned. That's wild, right?
Yeah.
Government's like, hey, we know you guys out there opening up portals, opening up the spirit world. So if we catch you guys playing this, guess what? Your parents, they're gonna get fined.
Yeah.
Do you want your parents to struggle? The kid's like, I don't give a fuck.
I'm a kid. Why do I care? I don't care.
I didn't choose to live here.
That's
right?
real shit, man. That's like that's real shit. They got something like that in America too. Some places.
I didn't choose to live here.
What if your kid acts up? They find you for shit. Like if your kid skips school, they find you and shit.
So the moral of the whole story: don't have kids.
That's it. That is it. I was about to say do something, Charlie, but
They're gonna drag you down, dude.
That is the most efficient way to avoid having Charlie follow your kid home or whatever the hell they doing that. Just don't have them. Like just
It's easy for you to say.
don't have kids, man. It's overrated.
Just give everybody the eyeball. I gotta take a leak. We'll be right back.
All right.
And we're back.
All right. So I did come across this other crazy ass story. This is another old story with ghosts and shit. It's actually a bit more crazier than the last one I was talking about. Okay, so this is the I'm gonna try to say this right because this happened in Germany back in 1922. This is called the Hinterkaifeck farm murders. All right. So basically out in Germany, yeah.
Oh shit!
You know what I'm saying? It's just tough.
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that.
I had to sound that one out. Hinterkaifeck farm murders. Okay, so this is back in like 1922, right? And so at this farm, there was this family called the Goober family. Funny name. The Goober family, right? They lived at this farm, and they were like social outcasts, mainly due to the fact like the husband was like the husband was like he used to beat the shit out of his wife all the time. Like he was notorious for it. Like everybody in the town knew.
Is it Germany?
This is Germany, yeah, back in 1922.
Sounds about normal.
The Gruber family, Gruber family. It's like Gerber. The Gruber family, like I said, there was like social outcasts, right? So the town didn't really, fuck with them like that. And like he was the man of the house, the father. He was like notorious for always beating his wife, and also there was the reason why the family was being outcast too, because he had an incestuous relationship with his daughter.
Damn.
So him and his daughter was smashing on the side.
So they did that back then too.
Yeah, that was the thing. Man.
You think it was more common?
It's always
back
been
then,
a thing,
or is it more common now?
I think it was more common back then. I think it was even commoner before. I think it was even more commoner before 1922. Like the further back you go, I think it was just like, hey, smashing kids is cool.
So like now it will be like more suppressed.
I think there's more laws protecting the kids from these predatory adults than there was back then.
But the urge of the adults, like, it's still.
I think it still exists though.
It's still like the same like back then.
But the laws can.
Yo, that's so scary.
That's
what I'm saying. Don't have kids.
Yeah,
that's always gonna be in the back of your head.
I have anxiety when I think about having kids. Like I want to be a father, but fuck, this world is crazy to me. But I'm not gonna get into that.
Let me have a robot kid.
I want a robot child. So I just turn it off at night. But you
don't have to worry about her getting clap.
Don't you go to school? Teen pregnancy you can avoid.
Yeah, it's so scary, dude. How do adults do it?
All right, that's stressful, man.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not even a parent. I'm like stressed out over it. All right, let me get back to this. All right, so
I don't mean to laugh.
It's really
just the idea.
I've been seeing parents. I'm like, how y'all do? This world's crazy. I read the news too much. That's my problem. Okay, so all right. So the Gruber family, right? All right, like I said, social outcast. Husband was like a notorious wife beater, and also he had a relationship with his daughter, right? So, anyways, what happened at the Gruber's farm? Well, back in like late 1921, the Gruber family was experiencing like these weird noises in the house, like somebody was walking around at night. Like everybody in the house would hear it. The whole family was hearing it. They also had a maid too. That was how
ballers.
They did like maid shit. And then at night she would hear like walking in the attic. Oh, like heavy footsteps too, not like no tip tap or kid feet running down the hallway type shit. It was like, and everybody in the house was hearing it.
That's like adult steps.
Yeah, like big man steps.
Like I live here.
Like Shaq. Like
yeah,
just
like
walking down the hallway.
You don't care about disturbing nobody because you live there.
Yes, and so, and then we hear like voices throughout the house too at night, like it's like down the hallway here, like no, but it's like loud, and the maid would look out the room and there's nobody.
Skeet.
And the maid would look out the room and wouldn't see anybody down the hallway, and she's like, okay, but eventually the maid got sick of it and she got the hell up out of there. She's like, I'm out.
Was she black?
That's what I was gonna. I don't know. Her name was Maria. She might have been Puerto Rican in Germany. In 1921, this is
Black Puerto Rican.
Black Puerto Rican. She got the hell up out of there. So she wound up out of there because she was like, "Yo, this place getting creepy." And then 6 months after she had left, Andreas, which was like the father of the family, the guy that had the incestual relationship with his daughter and was beating the shit out of his wife because likely in that household, the wife was like, "You need to stop sleeping with our daughter." And he was like, "Shut up, bitch," and slapped her.
That's so crazy.
I don't even want to get. I'm not gonna get into that. This whole nother.
Imagine like you were
messy.
in the wife's shoes, right?
Yes.
You need to stop sleeping with her daughter
that you helped me make.
He was like,
and you're sleeping with her more than me, because that's when the mom probably was like, like. You blowing her back out every night. Like I got needs too.
Chris.
No, I'm saying that really
that blow back comment though.
No.
It's a bit much, man. You're putting like images in my head.
If anybody ever seen the movie Precious, you know what I'm talking about. She was getting jealous that her husband was sleeping with her daughter.
I've never seen that. Is that good?
I say watch it, but watch it one time. Precious is it's too much for me. It's too depressing, and shit really be happening like that where the mom will get jealous over the daughter because her man who helped her give that sleeping with her daughter, she started feeling some type of way. Like,
whoa, that's what Precious is about?
Yes. Horrifying movie. And that shit really does happen with people.
Damn.
So that's what I'll probably see with this situation where she was like...
Is it on Netflix?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
The movie's sad. The movie that... Oh, God, I don't even want to talk about the movie. But so anyways, so I'm assuming that the mom was like, hey, stop sleeping with our daughter. And then he was like, shut up, bitch, and slapping her around and... Whatever. So anyways, 6 months after Maria got the hell up out of there, Andreas started seeing like he was seeing like during like the winter time because this is the end of 1921, and Germany. If anybody knows Germany, during the end of the year or anytime during winter, they get a shit ton of snow. insane amount of snow out there. And so during the wintertime, Andreas would walk out the house and he would see footsteps leaving the house. But he's like, nobody left the house. But he would never see footsteps returning that night. He would just only see footsteps leaving. He's like, who the hell is in this damn house? Like, who was here? And so,
Trayvon.
Yeah, somebody was chilling in that damn place. And so that's when he started doing like a little investigation where he would like at night where he would see the footsteps that he would keep seeing the snow leaving the house, but never footsteps going back. And he knew it wasn't anybody in his family.
They're still in the house.
Yeah, or they walked, but somebody like who's leaving the house if it's not his family, and if somebody's leaving the house, who's going in? Because he wasn't finding footsteps anywhere else either. So one day he was like, "Who the hell's leaving the house one night?" And he would go out there and he would like walk out, follow the footsteps, and eventually the footsteps would go dead. He wouldn't be able to. He wasn't finding anybody. He's like, okay, and he would give up, and go back to the house. He was like, all right, I'm not gonna worry about it, right? So eventually it got to a point where like sometime not to and he had like other things happening too where like I think like his car's keys were going missing, or sometimes they would find like newspapers on their front doorstep, but the newspaper was from like a whole different county. He was like, who's dropping these newspapers off? They're like, we don't even live in this county. Why we got like weird like incidents like started happening there. And eventually the family just like the town started noticing that, hey, we haven't seen the Gruber family in town, and that weird ass outcast family. We haven't seen them in a while. Where they at? Like, where are they at? And so the townsfolk came together and they went up to the house. And when they went to the house, they couldn't get in at first, I think. And then they wound up going to the barn. And when they opened up the barn, they found like 4 of the family members all dead. Their bodies stacked on top of each other.
Damn.
Just that blood was everywhere. They was all just stacked on top of each other, nude and shit. And townsfolk after that wound up going into the house, and they found the rest of the family dead inside of the house too. Everyone was dead, including the new maid they hired, because Maria got up out of there and left, like I said before. They had hired a new maid, and the new maid wound up getting murdered too.
The new maid was white.
More than likely, yeah, because she didn't leave.
She didn't believe none of that.
She thought that shit was a joke, and they got her ass. And so they got her, and then so they started doing an investigation, trying to figure out what it was. And here's the thing, damn, tonight's a full of coincidences because I forgot about this. When they did an autopsy of all the bodies, they saw that every single victim that was dead was killed by strangulation. Everybody was strangled.
So they got that pleasure.
They got the they got the.
They got that.
I'm coming. And then they passed out.
It feels so good. What's up? What's up, Jesus?
Whoa, that was quick.
What's up, Jesus?
I'm about to come on, man. Like in heaven, they're disappointed.
What's good?
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
Yeah, so they found everybody's body on March 31st. The entire family was killed. Everybody was strangled. And here's the crazy thing too. So after the family had died, right? Because they had a farm, they lived on a farm, they had animals and shit. There were people that were like either walking past the area or whatever. It is after the bodies had been buried and shit, right? The house was still standing, and the farm animals were still there. Somebody was still taking care of the. Well, I think it was actually in the times in between where they said that when the family died and when they were found, somebody was still staying there. Something was happening. Like the animals were being fed. Somebody was eating in the house. Something was happening. So there was activity going on after the family had been murdered. After everybody was killed, somebody was eating, or some shit was going on. Somebody, I don't know if they found shit out in the outhouse toilet. I don't know what they found, but they was finding evidence that somebody had been there taking care of the farm animals and doing all this stuff. And they're like, oh shit. So maybe it was a person, but they was never seeing anybody leave. They couldn't find no trail of anybody leaving or coming in. They didn't find any like break-ins. Like whoever murdered the family didn't break in. There was like no windows were broken, no doors were kicked in, nothing.
So it was a ghost then.
So that to this day they still never found out who murdered that whole family.
Or interdimensional traveler.
Popped in, popped out. Boom, boom, boom.
Came in like, hey, I gotta do a job real quick. I'm out.
This family's gonna be responsible for World War III.
They're like, leave no evidence. Hey, say no more.
This family's gonna be responsible for World War III about 60 years from now, and we got cut off the bloodline right here. Got to wipe them all out. I'll take care of the animals though, because they said like the animals were being fed after they were dead, which is weird.
It is weird.
Like somebody's still feeding the cattle. Everybody's all dead, laid out. Like they found 4 bodies in the barn where the animals were still at. So I mean, there's
their due diligence.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna take care of the animals, but I just wiped that whole family.
It's like, yeah, I murdered the whole family, but you know, everybody can't be suffering. So I fed the farm animals because they didn't ask for this.
They didn't ask for this, man.
They're not the one that's, feeding themselves. Like, somebody was feeding them. So,
Yeah. Or the spirit was, or something.
like, yeah, I killed a family. That's why I fed them.
Yeah.
Because nobody else was going to feed them.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of time people still say that, I'll still think that, because they said too, whoever was around there too, feeding animals or possibly eating in the house where everyone was already dead, there was still jewelry and coins and money left behind. So it wasn't like no thief.
So it was no robbery.
So there wasn't even a robbery. So a lot of people are confused of maybe it was a spirit, because
It might have been like a time traveler that probably stopped like a potential Hitler part version 2.0.
popped in.
Yeah, like somebody was supposed to make like a new atomic bomb that actually destroyed planets, a planet destroyer.
And it started with his family. So
Yeah, one of the kids that was in the family was actually like super intelligent and shit.
He's gonna become
Because he was born with like the memory card from like somebody that was like an off planet like entity that when he was born, all that knowledge was kept in his brain. Like one child holds like the knowledge of the universe.
time travel's like.
Yeah, I went a little too far.
Gotta go. I gotta get this kid.
I got a story.
All right.
All right, so a Thai couple, they credit a ghost for winning the lottery.
What?
So believing that their visit to the graveyard led to a pair of lottery tickets that they actually winning the whole jackpot, they were thanking like these gravestones at a graveyard like for that. And they're thinking that, because they visited that grave, that they actually won the lottery.
Some spirit luck?
Yeah, so they're like, oh, all right. Like, we're going to go back to that grave, and then we're going to show them love, and we're going to give them all this food. And then when they did that, right, they won the lottery again.
Hey.
So they're saying, like, holy shit. Like, we're showing, like, love to, like, the people that pass over. We end up winning the lottery twice. So the third time... because they won so much money now. Like,
Yeah.
Like out here, like in Thailand, like if you win $200,000, that's like millions of dollars compared to like US. Yeah. So like they won all this money. So then they, like the third time, they went to like the gravesite. They spent so much money on catering all this food.
Everybody.
Like they hired like all these fucking top class chefs and shit. Like the whole like catering thing, like for the dead, was like over $8,000. Like in Thailand, so you would imagine, like a US probably be like, I don't know, like $1,000. But it's a lot of money, like in a country like that.
It's
to give like at a cemetery.
Well, that's insane because like they're just putting food out for dead people who is gonna just go bad.
Yeah.
Oh, but I guess it's like that. I think it's more like just the act of doing it is more important.
Yeah. The
fuck them eating.
The act of giving them like their food. Like you're not seeing the food being physically ate.
It's like you said, a plate just floating up in the air. I was screaming.
But like that story, like even with like our religion, like with my parents and stuff, like when we would give like like offerings to like the people that pass, like for my grandma, for example, like my parents, they would put like offerings, like with candles and stuff, and all these other Asian religions, they do like the same thing. Mm-hmm. And like I was watching a show, a Korean show about the same thing that they were doing, right? So the dude was doing like the offering, but then they show like the other side, the parallel reality, where the ghosts on the other side, they actually see the offering and they're eating everything up.
Oh.
They're eating like their favorite food. Because usually when you do offerings, like you offer like the favorite food of that person.
The person that you know, yeah.
Like, oh, this dude, he like Hot Pockets or whatever, like hot wings. So we put hot wings, Hot Pockets or whatever they like. That's like their offering. So like, like when you're doing like the shrine, the dead person on the other side, they come like, oh shit, like they got they got my favorite hot wings out here. They got my shit, and they're eating all the shit. Yeah. You don't see it, of course, but on the other side, they appreciate it. They're like, hey,
it's like
they come like to visit, like whenever you do like the whole shrine thing. It's like okay, they're gonna come visit for that one time, and then people that remember them and stuff.
Yeah.
And they come and they eat whatever food.
That's how they do it in well, not exactly like that with I might be wrong. I don't know shit about cultures like that, but I know like out in New Orleans how they have somebody passes away. You see like some families, especially that like have huge like spiritual ties to like I think maybe I don't know if it's like Africa or whatever or Haiti or something, but they'll do this thing where they'll take like a loved one and they'll put them like in their favorite outfit like before they bury them. They'll put them like in like and there's videos online, you'll see it too. Like a loved one who passed away, they'll put them in like I remember I saw one video where they had this dude, he had dressed up in his favorite like basketball jersey with his favorite player's name on the back, and he had like some shades on that he used to always wear, and they put him in front of a TV in the living room, and then had an Xbox out there and all that.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, they went all out. They had an Xbox out there, TV was on, and friends of the family and neighbors that knew the dude came by, was just like see him, whatever. But it's like a dead body just chilling in a chair with an Xbox controller, and they would keep him up there for like a couple days, and then they would take him, and then I think they would put him in a coffin, and then they'll do like a parade down the street to the burial, and then they bury him. But it's kind of
that's weird.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this for years. They've been like, they do that in New Orleans. Not everybody, but it's
if I died, do not do that.
Please don't put me out on display for the love of God.
That reminds me of like this other story where this dude was actually dead, but they put like his body like still at the club and shit, like dancing at the club.
Yes, yeah, they do. Yes, shit like that. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
And his body like on a pole, like a dead body.
That seems like
like
times
some
where they
rapper or whatever and shit.
See, times they'll have some dude like just. I remember I saw like one funeral where they had like the guy like a dead body. It like somebody was driving a car, but it was like a convertible top was down. He's in the backseat like this, like we could
too much.
Like we could have Bernie's with some shades on, and it was just driving around, and then people still inside the street like, hey, yeah.
To me, that's a little disrespect because you didn't ask for that.
But
like if I died, I died. Like you don't have to do all that.
Yeah, and I think it's just part of culture. Like, hey, like we want everybody to remember this is what you loved.
That's weird.
And this was your hobby. It's I don't want to say it's weird. It's because I think everybody has to deal with death in a way that's comfortable for them. I guess.
Yeah, for the people, but like imagine that's you though.
Would you want to be paraded like that? That's
yeah. You didn't sign up for that.
People ask the
like
your
you're thinking like it's like dumb thinking like what you like and stuff.
Yeah, in reality,
imagine they do that. You putting you in front of a TV playing PlayStation, but you don't even really like doing that, and you're like, hey, that's not me. Like stop doing that. It's like they're painted your character for you. That's why I'm saying like that's like crossing the line, dude.
Shell Shock says French Quarter funerals are insane too. Yes, out there and yeah. Y'all want to see a dead body and it'll be on display, like just straight up. This is the culture, I guess.
I think the people they should leave it. Like if you're dead, like leave it alone. Do the regular ceremony. Don't act like you know the person, and then do like stuff like that.
Well, it's usually like the family members that know you the best are the ones like that set it up.
But still, like it's
and I see what you're saying. Like me personally, and I want my family and everybody who listens to the Media Hijack know if my family does this, you grill the ass because they know I would never want this either. But then again, that's kind of like I don't know these people that passed away and the families did this for them. I don't know if that's what they wanted to. As a cultural thing. That's mainly what it comes down to. It seems insane for some people, but it's culture. I think it is a way to help people to cope with the passing of a loved one too, because especially a loved one that's gone. It does feel like you're missing a piece of your life, and it may help some people with like this is the last thing you remember them doing, like something you've always seen them do, and then they love basketball, they love playing video games. So I get it on some level. It's not for me, but
just cremate me.
No, I want to be shot into space, and I want to be found. I told my dad this before. I told my dad this like a month ago. He thought I was insane. I was like, yo, Dad, if I pass away, I'm gonna be shot into space like Spock.
He's like, hey, that's expensive.
No, man, just talk to Jeff Bezos. He'll do it for publicity, whatever. Just shoot me off into space. I want to be shot off into space, and then 2,000 years later, an advanced alien race finds like a coffin just floating in space, and they grab it and they bring it onto the ship, and they're like, "Wow, who's this? Why this is a human skeleton like from Earth?" Okay, let's
what's his race?
Oh, okay. Hey, I fire up the machine. We're gonna reanimate him, bring him back, and they bring me back. But Earth is long gone. Earth's been dead for like thousands of years. They bring me back like, I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my god, what? I'm like, where am I? What is this? What is going on here? And they like
pop,
and they attach something to the back of my neck so I can understand their language. It's kind of like translator, so I can understand them.
Google Translate.
And they talk to me, and I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm like, where's my family, my friends? Like, Earth has been dead for like 2,000 years, bro. You just drifting. Like, you don't remember Jeff Bezos? Because we hacked you guys' satellites. He shot you off into space, and
Jeff who?
And then they're gonna be like, okay, well, now you have to learn to live amongst our society, and then they gotta learn to live amongst other aliens as the only human.
That'd be cool.
That'd be horrifying.
That'd be cool life.
That's like some John Carter shit. That sounds horrifying.
Like if I die, right, and then they cremate my body, I want everybody in my family to take a shot with my ashes in it.
Oh man.
So I could be in everybody.
You know, sometimes it'd be bones in that stuff too. So they'd be like,
I want a piece of me and everybody in the family.
I want forever.
You know, because I could be giving them like some clues and shit if they're like taking a wrong path.
Access your memories to Atlantis.
Like,
Atlantis,
the ears be ringing. I'm like, make a right turn, right turn, right turn, right
Spirit
turn.
GPS?
Right turn, don't make left, don't make a left.
Don't do it.
And then, you know, the ears be ringing like, yeah, fuck, let's make a right turn. Right? And then they see if they see what happened if they make a left turn.
Somebody truck just smashes into
like, damn, like I had this ringing in my ear and I heard like voices in my head saying make right turn.
My conscience.
That's
what they call it.
Yeah, like I'm out in heaven like, hey,
you're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm gonna hear about this later when you die.
You owe me.
Remember that one time on 4th Avenue
when you was gonna make that left and I made you take that right?
That was me. You're welcome.
You're welcome. I allowed you to live for 30 more years.
Yeah, where you can meet that one guy that you fell in love with, but then he actually ended up being a
piece of shit
child rapist.
Oh. So that's even worse. Maybe she got taken out by the semi. Jesus. Damn.
I was like, hey, I was just trying to save your life, and you know, I'm not writing your whole storyline.
This Self-Shock says, look up the space slingshot. It may not be too far out of reach. Yo, so they shooting bodies into space? Let's go.
Speaking of space, didn't NASA like they hit a asteroid with a rocket?
Yeah, man. They it's called it's what's it called? Project Laser, or it's like an acronym. It's Project something. They shot some rockets out into space, and then I guess the rockets are going to kind of like move the asteroid out of the way, which is something that.
Yeah, it landed right on the asteroid.
Yeah, and then now they're going to like kind of like guide it out of the direction. Thank God they're not going to blow it up, because that is the... Don't do like the movie Armageddon. Don't blow up an asteroid. That shit would be 10 times worse. Because now we got a bunch of fucking meteors just smashing.
That's what they were trying to do.
Yeah. I did hear about that last week. I did.
That's real. That's pretty lit.
Yeah, and they're saying that this is the first time it's ever been accomplished. They've never done this before. Which is weird because I've seen so many movies.
Back in 1945, right? They were just shooting shit out the sky.
Or they were just like, not even so much blown up stuff, but more modern movies are saying like, when they do like disaster movies of, hey, let's put some rockets onto it and then guide it out the way. And that's something that NASA has been talking about for a long time. But because blowing up an asteroid is a horrible idea, because then you just make a bunch of meteors. They're just like, it's like, instead of getting shot by one big ass bullet by blowing up, you just make like a shotgun scatter blast that just hits everyone on Earth. So I've always heard about moving.
So crazy how like from how we went from landing on the moon to like getting excited about landing like a spacecraft like on an asteroid.
Well, the thing, from my understanding, that asteroid they're saying is going to be a more of a threat, and probably not in our lifetime, but towards the end of the century, it's because it's swinging around the solar system, and they're like, hey, like we kind of have to deal with this now because this shit might kill everybody on Earth eventually. And so that's why, from my understanding, they put the rockets on the side of it and guide it out the way, because in the century, it's probably going to do some damage to Earth. And so...
That's super advanced.
Yes. And tell you, man, with space, they know so much about what the trajectory of a lot of shit's going, especially with asteroids and stuff. And that's one of the asteroids where they're like, yeah, we need to move this shit now, because we may not be around for it. We're not going to be around for it. But this shit is inevitably going to wind up smashing into Earth. So let's kind of like... nudge it in another direction.
I think Earth might be done for though. In the next like 100, 200 years.
I don't think so. There's times I do think that, but at the same time, humanity on some point, and I kind of see it happening now. Humanity as a whole has to stop with this bullshit of want to control people and just let people live. Isn't like too much of the government around the world puts stock into want to control people versus wanting to protect people, I guess, or the survival of humanity. I don't think it's like at the forefront of a lot of people.
I don't even think like is even like that small like with people, but it's with nature.
Oh, that too, yeah.
But the whole nature thing is like a whole lot bigger than like what humans are actually fighting about.
Well, I was saying
Because if you think about like how big like the Earth is, and how like these big cities they only own like so much of like the land on like the whole Earth, but there's so much other land that no human is on.
Oh, it's untouched.
There's more of that than there is like people populating these little small cities.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. No,
So I think like the bigger picture would be like how do we keep the Earth alive?
How do we contain this without destroying it? Or
because like cities, the humans like they live in these cities, like we're in these confined spots. Well, it's not the whole Earth.
Yeah, it is. It's not like we're spread out all over the place. I think energy. I ain't no expert on environmental shit, but I know energy consumption is a huge thing. We burning out the resources too fast. Way too fast. I was just reading like a Thor comic book the other day. I know, I'm sorry, guys, bear with me, but there's this company in the Thor series. It's called Roxxon Corporation, like the biggest corporation on Earth, right? Like how they was like, man, we're draining this planet so much oil. You know what we need to do? We need to find a way to travel to. Remember I was talking about before about how the fairies were getting killed and they was dumping the bodies on Earth. This company was able to open up a portal to go to this place where the fairies were at to start digging for oil. They was like, hey man, if there's oil here, there's probably oil somewhere else. And then it was like, well, what about the fairies? So just move them out the way. And they just fucking just wiped them out. And then so they're drilling in another dimension. So they went from like, hey, we're burning out Earth. We need to go to another place that ain't never experienced humanity. We'll go there and take over. And then on some real shit, that's pretty on code for humans to do that. Just run up in people's territories and want to take it for its resources. It's on code. But now they jump in dimensions.
This is where you get into the Stargate series.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the Stargate shit. Like, hey, like if they're going to use it, what's the government going to do with it? Like, steal resources from other people?
Because like
other races?
The whole idea of the Stargate series was like they were trying to find like planets where they had like resources and stuff, or whatever they can use to would benefit their own planet.
To advance them or some kind of way, yeah. Yeah.
And the Egyptians or the pharaohs and stuff, they were on that Stargate travel.
Yeah.
Going to like different like, universes and stuff. Trying to see what planets have what.
Popping in, popping out.
See what new technology they have to advance their own DNA. Like,
how can we become gods? Because that Egyptian culture was all about gods. It was all about the god culture for real. Gods aren't born, man. They're created. They're made. Gods aren't born. They're made. Actually, that's real shit. But so that's always
ain't that right, Shell Shock?
That's what I always wondered with
Hey, speaking of Avatar,
the new one.
Well, not Avatar, but the new Black Panther movie coming out in November.
I saw the trailer, man, the other day.
That shit. That shit's so deep. Like, it's gonna hit hard. Like, I think that might be one of the movies that's gonna break all barriers. And
I think it's gonna be too much for me, man. I saw the teaser they released this summer, early, like probably midsummer, and I was in tears. I was like, "Oh man, this is so good, man." Because with Chadwick Boseman dying, so I was like, all of my feelings with that one. And I know they dropped one early this week, or was it last week? What the hell it was? This weekend they dropped the actual official trailer for it. Man, fucking Namor, this dude is like I like Namor in the comic books is like I always thought he's like an Asian dude. First of all, I was shocked that they made him into like a. I kind of like it more how they do it in this movie where he's more because in the comic books Namor is just like Atlantean and then it's like they're done. He's Atlantean prince or ruler or whatever. The end. Where in this movie showing that hey he's Atlantean but Atlanteans are like Aztecs. Like that's what it's tied to, and I was like, I like that. I've never seen them do it before.
There's something weird about that movie where I connected with that movie like so much, even way before I did any psychedelic trip, And then I felt the connection with the movie. I was like, man, this movie it has like so much stuff to where I believe that a lot of it could be true and shit.
I remember you saying that before too, way back, even on the show, yeah.
Yeah, and then I had a psychedelic trip. Where it matches up with some of the stuff that I saw in the movie to where in my head I was like, dude, could all this be true? Like, and then could the people that made that movie, that wrote the story, like they knew something about like the truth between like this reality and like a different reality. Because like what I saw like on my trip, it was so similar to what I saw on like the Black Panther movie to where I was like,
advanced
I was
civilization.
like, ain't no way.
Ancient advanced
yeah.
civilization.
Yeah, because I saw myself like in Atlantis, but I saw like the same technology that I saw like in that movie, which was so fucking crazy. It was freaky. Like how I was telling you how they were able to pull out like a cancer cell, like from somebody that was sick.
Oh
right?
yeah, I mean, you told me that. Yeah. They would just pull the cancer out like doodle.
Yeah, and everything was done like
holograms.
Oh yeah, a 3D hologram, right? The doctor, the professor, whatever, he was able to pinpoint like the cancer cell, and then it was like, oh, it's in this dimension. He pulled that shit out like it was nothing.
Like super accurate, like right
and
here.
this was in my my vision and shit. And I saw all this shit.
And then Black Panther came out, and it was like they had something similar to that. I think the dude got shot in the movie.
Yeah, something similar, like where it's like the girl was treating like that white guy.
Yeah, the white dude got shot, and it was like, okay, that was actually pretty dope how they did in the movie too. They showed like his body, and then when he zoomed in, it was like, hey, we need to be careful where the bullet's at, because if we pull it out from this direction, it's gonna paralyze him. We gotta be.
Yeah,
like,
the technology was just like that.
level, yeah.
And then like another movie where the technology, it looked just like exactly what I saw was in that movie Immortal. When he was like explaining how the steam engine was made, like how he did the whole diagram like in the air and shit.
What Immortal?
Immortal, yeah. When he was like, hey, should we give him like the steam engine? They're like, no. But then they show the whole diagram of the steam engine. Oh. It's like the same thing like what I saw.
I'm trying to think if I've seen that movie Immortal.
Yeah, you saw Immortal. You did see it.
I probably did. I think I seen it.
Yeah, because you talked about it. Immortal.
It's not taking me a second.
Oh damn! New reality.
Yeah, yo, bro. I'm so sorry.
This is a new reality.
We slid into a new reality.
Yeah, you saw the movie because you even told me about it.
I really don't remember. I swear to God.
I swear to God, you saw.
I swear I don't remember.
Immortal with Angelina Jolie, the Asian guy.
Eternals.
Oh yeah, Eternals.
Oh.
What
Immortal.
My bad. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I'm tripping over here. I was like, wait, hold on, man.
What the fuck is Immortals? Yeah, Eternals.
But I mean,
that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry.
No. They were immortal though. Yeah. Somewhat. They didn't age.
Yeah.
So
is there a movie called Immortals?
Yeah, there is, but it's a movie called Immortals. There is a movie called Immortals, right?
Eternals. My bad.
Ooh, you had me scared for a second.
I was scared too.
You had me shook. No, there is a movie called Immortals, but it's got like Henry Cavill in it. He played like Superman, but it's about like this guy who's like a demigod, and this king like basically tears apart his village because he's trying to kill him.
Yeah,
because he's a demigod. That's the movie I was saying. I was like, wait, what? I was like, an engine. That place took place like during Greek era, like back in Greece. I was like, did they build an engine? I kept thinking like, did they build an engine in that movie? But Eternals, yes.
Eternals.
Dude, that movie's so underrated though. Eternals, people be like, Eternals is not good.
Really?
I really did like that movie. I liked it more than the average.
I liked it, but I can see why people don't like it.
It's too much for them.
But when I watched it, dude, I was on the edge of my seat because I was like, they're giving me so much information.
Nobody's on that level of this thinking. So it might have been too much. I think it might have been too much for that, like
the average crowd.
The average like moviegoers, like, this is too.
They're expecting action, satisfaction.
Like, Captain America, fighting villains. I'm like, no, this is like world building. Like,
yeah, when the story gets too deep, they're like, I don't know.
Like they planted a god inside of a planet just so it could destroy crazy shit.
Where
That's
it
amazing.
reaches like a certain population.
Yes.
Dude,
they put the seed into the planet and it grows and just like.
This could be like a documentary.
Dude, insane, man. I like more of that shit than just a typical run of the mill superhero shit. Now I'm more into that.
It's deeper.
It feels more epic.
Yeah, because the story it runs deep, like in like any culture that has like that type of
it's like a mythology. Yeah, it's
with the native culture, like it goes deep.
Like
Asian culture.
Because I can see like a culture being like inside of the earth, there's a god planted in it, and like it sounds very.
Yeah, like there's something inside the earth, you know.
Oh,
could be something.
CERN, where that portal at? CERN.
Yeah.
Damn, CERN. Yo, get me out of here.
But yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got too.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to take 1 week off, and then we'll be back
the following week.
And then the last week of October, we're going to do our Halloween special.
Costumes. Fingers crossed that they're here.
With costumes.
Fingers crossed that they're here. Please.
I got my costume today, so I'm set.
You did? I'm gonna see if I got mine tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to my parents. I gotta get it mailed to my parents' house because I don't trust my apartment
Like
complex.
I wore it and everything. I was just laughing because it was so funny.
It fit everything. Fit good.
Yeah. I mean, I could make adjustments, but it was funny.
I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna go to my parents' house. I get my mail sent over there because I didn't want nobody. I didn't want to see anybody walking out shooting my costume on my side of the neighborhood because somebody broke my mailbox. So I gotta send it to my parents' house. I'm gonna go over there tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be funny. Somebody like walking around wearing your costume.
I'm like, what the fuck? Now I gotta run them over.
All right, guys. We'll catch you guys in 2 weeks.
See you guys. Love
Peace
you guys.
out. Adios.
It's not really good to know this on the music.